Hello, guys. This is Nikki, you also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching the Awesome 10X live market update. It's the global. We're going to discuss today, December 17, 2020, the opportunities that remain in the market because, guys, it doesn't matter if you missed out a 500% run in the US market, in the global markets. The point is you will continue to miss another 100 to 200% run next year, next year, next decade if you still do not invest globally. So let's begin. What are the most important headlines that is actually happening in the market? In my view, this company is actually sorry, not that. I think that you should be aware that Luckbox finally is public. And for those who aren't aware, Luckbox is actually the one of the largest bets on esports because you can actually currently, if you're watching a lot of CS:GO tournaments or even Dota tournaments, if it's normal for millennials to actually watch these games, they can actually also bet upon these games. So Lockbox, as you could see, has finally listed in the Toronto Stock Venture Exchange. You can bet on Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, League of Legends, Overwatch, Call of Duty, FIFA, NBA 2K, and more esports. So the thing about this is that it's now trading live on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the ticker Luck. But I think that this is not available for all. I mean, I'm not sure if it's available for everyone, but this is the ticker symbol Luck. So that's Real Luck Group. It's TSXV. It just listed last night. And in my view, I think it's already open at about 80 cents. I think they tried to start it at 42 cents, but this one is not updated yet. It's already trading at about 80 cents. However, even if you take a look at that, it is still in the realm of still actually, it's still in the cheap zone, given that the market cap that they've priced in million Canadian dollar. So, Lockbox CEO Kenton Martin caught up with Proactive's Andrew Scott to discuss his plans to list. This were actually most of the news about this Real Luck Group has been discussed in June. Well, I've been reading about this company for quite a while now. So I'm actually interested with this company. It's an esports betting operator. They already completed a lot of funding prior to this IPO, and I do believe that this listing on Toronto Stock Venture Exchange is good. Evidenced by the oversubscription, we continue to be optimistic. I'm also optimistic about this. So this is a company that you probably want to put your eyes upon. Lockbox Lockbox is ticker symbol LUCK. So I took a look. I think most of my Twitter feeds are mostly American, so they're not actually they're not as well versed maybe in Toronto Stock Exchange. Neither, but there are really a lot of opportunities. This is also a very good tweet. For those who aren't in the know, Mr. Andrew Dudom, the founder and CEO of OAC, Oak Tree Capital actually is the sponsor of this SPAC, ticker symbol OAC. It's gonna be the entry point of Hims and Hers, and it is actually a very good video that you could actually share and rewatch. It's actually about the road to success for the startup Hims and Hers. We actually studied this company OAC, and at about we got in at about $10, 10 near 10 $10.50. I think we bought this. And continuously, even today at $12.50, do think that this is a name that is interesting for those who still don't have it. For those who don't know what OAC does, can check it out in our Awesome 10X Inner Circle. We do a deep dive on companies like this. Let me just show to you that even and to prove the people who think that they're late, that they're, if you are a member, you could see in my summary companies as many as 40 names that in my view are still in the buying zone. Inside the summary, you could see Awesome 10X names still in the buying zones for December. So of course, BFT, I do think that BFT, aka PaySafe, is a great opportunity to enter. Below 12. These things and more are actually available for you if you're in the Awesome 10X Inner Circle. Oh, also, I want to share some quotable quotes. This is also a good thing. Next is really just to make sure that you are if you have an emotional reaction to everything that's being said to you. True power is sitting back, observing things with logic. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe and allow things to pass. Invest in a promising company that you don't really care about. And you will actually, and you might enjoy it when everything is going well. But when the tide inevitably turns, you're suddenly losing money on something you're not interested in. It's a double burden. The path of least resistance is to actually move on to something else. If you're passionate about the company to begin with, you love the mission, you love the product, the team, the science, whatever, then the inevitable downtimes when you are losing money or the company needs help are blunted by the fact that at the very least, you feel like you're part of something meaningful, that you can actually be part of something meaningful and be a necessary motivation that prevents you from giving up and moving on. We actually believe here that you have to buy companies that you can actually sleep well at night with. It's not just about the matter of, is it a 10x name? It could be a 10x name, but if you can't actually hold on to that move, then will you even hold on to that 10x move? If you don't find also, guys, for the people here who keep on working and don't know how to make money while sleeping, let me just remind you that Warren Buffett said this: if you do not find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And I'm here to help you out to find the companies that are really well. So I'll give you some things. Yes, BFT, OAC, this great name. Right now it's trading at 12.4. Should this actually drop near 11.50, that is actually a great opportunity to buy if it even drops. So the question is if. Example, like last week, we opined that Sunrun at about 58 was a great entry opportunity. Right now it's trading at about 61, 62. We opined what's that company? A lot of solar companies were giving a lot of entry, like Array Technologies at 36. It's now trading at 41, 42. The point here, guys, is that this is not to make you feel bad. It's actually telling you point blank that whether you entered last week, last month, last week, at the point is whether you bought Sunrun at about 22, or you bought it at about 48, 44, or you bought it at 55 or 56, or you bought it at 61. The point is this gonna go $200? Well, if you think that yes, and if you don't know, then you probably need to listen into a lot of Awesome 10X Inner Circle channel. Comfortable with companies, even if it has already gone 10x. Yes, this is a 10x move already. This is 8 that went to 80. That's why there was a necessary pullback, which was actually an entry point. See, the thing about 10x names is that even if it pulls back, it doesn't prevent the entire 10x trend to happen if it's really gonna 10x anyway. As a few examples for you to understand. So for instance, Square is already a $200 name. It started $10, and right now you can buy a PaySafe, which is PaySafe is gonna be the backdoor play for your for this PaySafe. So PaySafe, who's PaySafe? For those who aren't aware, PaySafe is already the leader in all the iGaming segments. You're playing DraftKings. How do you pay that? How do you load that DraftKings? How do you even load that luck box? Through PaySafe, right? You're using Skrill and NetTeller, which is actually going to be here in BFT. BFT already has $100 billion in revenues. We actually deep dive this company such that, even at 13.72, you want to buy it. Even if it goes to $12, you want to still buy it. And even more so if it goes to $11. The thing about these great companies is that if you can determine that the crash potential is 20%, but the upside potential is probably in the realm of 100 to 200 to 500%, then the good thing to do is just to buy and to sleep, make money while sleeping. There's a lot of companies that are interesting. How do I monitor this? I'll explain. Yeah, what are your thoughts on NEO po? For NEO, I think that the recent drop at about 39 was actually an entry opportunity. And so we actually opined inside the inner circle to actually buy it at about 39. I still wanted to buy it at 35, but it never really fell 35. So you could see that I have buy arrows to buy it at the lower end, but it didn't fall down. Should NEO fall near the 35 level, I'm actually willing to buy this name, given that it's actually a 10x secular trend. So when I say that it is a 10x secular trend, it doesn't matter if you bought it at 5, 6, 10, 12, 13, 15, 25. Now, if you bought it at 55, it's just gonna be so sad that you've bought high. However, if it's a 10x secular trend, will it go all-time highs next year, next year, next 5 years? The answer in my view is yes. So the point is, if you could buy NEO at about 39 areas or $40, that is a better entry point. Neo actually made a secondary offering. They raised $2 billion to actually fight Tesla. Because for those who aren't aware, Neo is of course fighting a competition war, not just with Tesla, but of course with other Chinese electric vehicles. You could see that all Chinese electric vehicles, as a group, have been raising money. Your Xpeng raised about $2 billion after the IPO at 15. They also raised money at 45. Take note that even if BYD has already risen from about $40 to $200 this year, that drops at about 140 or 120 are actually opportunistic areas to buy. Actually, in Hong Kong, this one is actually in the opportunity zone right now. Razer is trading at about $2.20. That's actually an entry point. 229. We bought this at about 138, 140, 160, even at $2 for some people. Here at about $2.20 and $2.30 is another opportunity to buy it more. So as you could see, buying great companies does not necessitate you to actually buy and sell, because you make money anyway just buying and holding. Whether you have only learned this from us today, the important thing, guys, is actually try to backtrack 5 months ago what we have been preaching, 5 days ago what we have been preaching. Just check the price. Anyway, this is a market update every single day, and you'll notice whether what we're telling you is right or wrong. Let's take a look at some investing.com. People are asking me, how do you track? I use a free track. So I just create portfolios for free here on investing.com. I use it to monitor. So I use that to, so in the portfolio section, I create a lot of watch lists. I do it via sector if I wanted to. Example, if I was checking video games, I put the video games that I'm interested upon. You could see that it's all here. And just a quick look. Okay, Gravity. Yes, Gravity. Even if I was a little bit late with Gravity, I bought this at about 120. I bought it at 134. Right now it's trading at 192. You know, so how could you say that you are late? I was late on Gravity. Some people have this at 30, 40, 50. But if it is a secular winner anyway, these pullbacks are actually entry opportunities. This is where I bought. See, this was perhaps the early buyers were buying on April about 32. Some were even buying at 60, buying at 100. But where will I sell? Probably at about 200 to 220 if you're asking me, because I think that I'm already late. Because the people who deserve to make like the 300% moves, right, are the people who got in at 30 and they're going to sell at 220. And probably even if they sell at 220 or 200, they'll probably just sell maybe 1/6 or 1/5 of their cost. Meaning, if they had 1,000 shares, let's assume you've got 1,000 shares of Gravity, $30,000. It's now trading at $200,000. Guys, your profit is 170. Even if you just sell $100,000 and hold that $70,000 worth of Gravity, your $70,000 can double and triple. Or even if it falls, you can actually use that $100,000 capital either to buy more Gravity shares when it goes down, or in my view, what usually happens, guys, is that I choose that $100,000 capital extra to allocate to more names. Like I will probably find companies that, in my view, will double, triple, quadruple, or even 10x in the next 5 years, or even just next year. So I do that. So if I think that the upside, if I don't think that Gravity from about $200 is going to go $400 anyway, if I think that it can only go up to 120 or 230, I'm willing to usually give it up. So if I think that the upside is just 10, 20% already, I'm willing to actually give it up and take some profits, not necessarily all. I'm just gonna trim so that I'm gonna be able to deploy it to other 10x companies. Mazat is asking for Global Start, how much is an advisable minimum amount to invest? I'd say a minimum is $1,000. If I'm 100% invested in the Philippine stock market, what should be the ratio for Philippine stocks and global? I'd say initially you'd probably invest 30% globally, but over time, when you learn and learn, it would actually become 80% US and 20% Philippines. And probably as you learn over time, some people have gone 100% straight global and 0% Philippines. So there's no right or wrong here. Of course, when you're new, you don't want to invest everything globally, but you start it off. Let's say you start with a Disney example. Disney's trading at about 175. I do think that here at 175, even at these levels, that it's still a buy. So Disney here at about $173. Even if we've bought somewhere here, we're still continuing to buy more here. So buy. Actually, it's just continuously buy. These are all-time highs. It will continue to go more all-time highs. Come next year, come next year. So even if it drops to 160, I would be all the more pleased to actually buy it at 160. See, the thing about the market is that it has nothing to do with making money tomorrow. If my view is I want to make my $1,000 grow $5,000, how will I do it? I'm gonna usually what I do is I actually I would deploy that. Well, $1,000 really too small. I'll be honest. Like, a suitable portfolio is about $5,000 to $10,000, because let's assume your $1,000 didn't go double. Would you really be happy, spending time with me, your time, and you only made $1,000? So you probably want to gradually increase that over time. Say, start with $1,000 or $2,000, but eventually add $2,000, reload it up with another $2,000. You start with $1,000 just to get your feet wet, just to understand the mechanics. Probably buy 10 names with $100 each. And so let's say your first 10 names, let me just give you some preview. Let's say you're buying 10 names. Okay, you buy $100 worth of Disney, you can do fractions. You buy another $100 of JD tonight at about $82. Buy $100 of DFT, aka PaySafe. See, these are all opportunities to buy. Even at 81, let's say you've bought JD already at 26 and 32 last year. Should you have bought more at 50? Yes. Should you have bought at 69, 70? Yes. Should you buy still at 81, 82? The answer is yes. Because at the end of the day, if you understood what you bought, these names are going double and double up, not because of the Fed printing interest rates, but because interest rates are low, or yes, that's true. It also benefits them. But the point is, you have to ask yourself, is JD growing and growing as time goes by? And if the answer is yes, then these companies are meant to be held and bought on any dip. You ever recommend $2,000 then margin? Yes, we actually recommend clients to do margin. Like, we tell them actively to margin because it's just 1.59% a year. Consider the fact that $2,000 you can margin, let's say, another $2,000. That means that for $4,000 you can purchase, let's say, 10 names, let's say 20 names, $200 each. If your $4,000 went up, let's say just 10% a year, you've made $400. Do you understand that making 10%, 1.59% interest rate is 1 year? So actually, let's say $2,000. What is 1%? Let's already round it up to 2%, guys. What's 2% of $2,000? $40. So, and $40 is the rate that you're gonna pay for an entire year. Meaning, if I'm gonna just pay it for a month, I just paid $3, 150 pesos for me to access 100,000 pesos of funds. Can you imagine why it's senseless for people who aren't margining their rates when the rate is that low? Can you understand now that you have to calculate the math, how much the expense is? If the expense is too low, if the risk is too low, the reward is larger, then you should actually be investing your money continuously, because it's really to their benefit, not to mine. Yes, I know I've been benefiting, but this is free, right? This is free. I do this every day for free. This YouTube channel, how much will I ever make? Nothing, unless I have like 1 million views in a day. I mean, I'm not that popular. But what I'm saying is that it's important that you have to learn how to make long-term wealth for your money and not ask about what's going to go up 50% tomorrow. You have to be aware, guys, what's going to go 500% up in the next 5 years? What's going to go 10x in the next decade? Because when you know those answers, you could see that that's the reason why JD is going from $20 to $200, and even at $80, that it's not yet stopping. And should you actually think more about these 10x trend, you should actually understand why BFT at about 14 to 12 is actually an opportunity to buy, because before it goes $100, you have it at 14 and 10. That's the way that Awesome 10x has to think. That's the way that Awesome 10x wants you to think. Your $100 can grow to $200, but what's the point of making $100 if it's just $100? Think about your long-term wealth. We actually actively tell people that they should learn how to manage their money, do it yourself. They control what companies they will buy and companies that they believe in, all right? So I'm going to share to you a few things. Let's go to the profile page. This is important that you have to know. This is an Awesome 10x testimonial. I'll just read it for you. Hi, Nikki. Just dropping a note to say thank you so much for sharing your Awesome 10x system. My husband and I, we cannot stop talking about how passionate you are with what you do and how much information you share with us, your students. It is actually very difficult to keep up with all the information that you give us. But I thank God for finding you because we also don't have a job right now and decided to just go into IT consulting, share that already during our consultation review. Being able to recoup slowly our losses from the Philippine market is such a relief and an encouragement to just follow you. God bless you. It's true, guys. It's true that some of us came from losses, maybe 40% losses, 30% losses. But what's important is where you came from is not a matter of where it's not, it doesn't even matter. What matters is what are you gonna do tomorrow? What actions are you building today that will actually build for your assets in the long term, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, next decade? Think about it. If you can just, so we actually teach people that if you only have maybe $1,000 today, don't worry, because the point is next year if you have another $1,000, redeploy that $1,000, because our real goal here is that you learn to save money, even if it's just $1,000 worth of Disney today, $1,000 of Gravity today, $1,000 of DFT today. But of course, what's best really is for $1,000 that you split it up maybe to about 10 names, at the very least $100 each, so that you can understand why diversification system is gonna work so well for you. So do you ever recommend 2,000 in margin? The answer there is of course a yes. You know, you don't need to even so don't ever stop yourself from actually starting because you think that, well, my money is just $1,000 or $2,000. No, you should begin even if it's just $2,000. Can you imagine what you will do next year? Douyu esports platform, it will merge with Huya. So they're the Twitch of China, right? So can you imagine we were saying Nintendo for quite a while now. We were saying Nintendo was a no-brainer stock pick. And we were saying that the parents had to teach their children that instead of just buying Nintendo 3 years ago, wherein Nintendo was trading at about 20,000 yen, take note, your 20,000 yen is now 70,000 yen, and that's Nintendo. Like, where else can you actually make so much money in your portfolio in companies that you've already believed in the first place? So Nintendo is listed in Japan, and it's also listed in USA. And guys, if you're not aware, Nintendo is listed in many markets. I think even in Europe, etc. Let's say you didn't buy it at $40, right? We were even opining that even as high as $50, even as high as $60 that you buy, because it's gonna go $100 anyway. Nintendo has been growing their Switch, the Crossing, Animal Crossing, the digital sales 400, 500%, and it's not stopping. Did we tell that to you last week, last month, last year? The answer is yes, and we will continue to say it tomorrow, next year. I mean, the point here is not about making 50% tomorrow, right? It's not about that. No, consider, of course, you would have made more money had you invested in Nintendo early on. Yes, during 2016, on the first launch, when you bought the Nintendo Switch for your child or for yourself, Nintendo was just trading at about $30 then, or even lower. It's just trading at about $20. Now it's $70. Can you imagine if you had, let's say, you don't have money, you just bought, okay, instead of buying a Nintendo Switch, instead of buying 30,000 pesos of Nintendo Switch, you bought 30,000 pesos of Nintendo stock. Today, your 30,000 pesos of Nintendo stock is at least 70,000 pesos. So from the stock price alone, you've got a free Nintendo Switch. And we've been saying that for over a long, long time. We were saying even in the Philippine market that if they wanted to simply have a free ticket to Japan, we said put that 39,000 pesos instead of buying 50,000 pesos worth of Cebu Pacific. You're buying already that airline ticket today? No. Buy 100,000 or 50,000 pesos of that airline ticket today through Cebu Pacific and give it a year. You gotta buy. You already have your money right now. Cebu Pacific is at 54. It's a slow stock. But the point is, what 54 versus 39? It's, let's say it goes to 70 pesos. Then your 50,000 earn 50,000. You get a free trip to Japan because I think a Japan trip is about $1,000 or less. That's how we make money. And it's not about Cebu Pacific. It's not about Nintendo stocks. It's about any company that you believe in. Now, this is the problem with most people. They just buy and sell. They don't even know what they own. And that's why some people, I kind of pity them. That's why we did this. We did this so that more people know how to make money from companies that they love anyway. Example, you play Dota, you play Shopee, you always buy from Shopee, you always order from Food Panda delivery. So why don't you make money from Food Panda? Food Panda is listed as DHER, Delivery Hero. This is a company that we gave a buy even at $100, 100 euros. Right now it's trading at 117 euros, 118. Even if we didn't buy it at 70 or 80 because we were buying something else during that time, April, May, June, July, and I only covered it even as late as December, I studied it and I said, Delivery Hero at 100 euros is still going to go higher. So if you don't know what you're buying, you always will end up really asking yourself, what am I doing with my assets? What am I doing with my cash? And I hope that Awesome 10x can try to illuminate and wake you up that your cash should be invested in companies that are high quality, in companies that you can marry, and not just have an overnight stand with them. Don't have a one day stand with your companies, all right? Will you assist me on managing my port in Philippines in order to consolidate it to global? I assist people. I'm gonna show to you how much I assist people. It's not just you. I assist like 300 people already. How is it done? Just follow the summary, cheat every day. Look, buy till end of the month. SE 190, 185, $180. Monday buy CD Project 300, Disney, Progeny, Agora. Study as well. Some watch out for Airbnb for the dips. For I was like doing this for for people who have new portfolios, right? Awesome 10x names to buy until the end of December. Copy this and buy it until December 31. Own this portfolio for 2021. Buy Rush below 14. Buy BFT below 14. Buy SSPK below 12. Buy OAC below 12. Look, that's happening every day. So if we have so many clients making money from us every single day, it's not about me. It's not about me helping you. Why do I just help one person when I can help thousands or even 10,000 people or even 100,000, right? So you do your own, you don't even need to do your own research anymore because I do it already. The DYOR part is already being done by me. All you gotta do is diversify, choose companies that you believe in, put it in that portfolio, and sleep on it. Make money while sleeping. That's it. Okay. Goodbye, bye. Goodbye, guys.